Hi, I'm Maylee Mifkovic, a graduate STEM communication designer at the Colorado School of Mines. In this video, we will discuss storytelling and narrative in science writing, such as how to develop a narrative and incorporate scientific analogies. Scientific writing is important for effectively communicating ideas, concepts, and discoveries. Developing a story and narrative engages the reader, facilitates comprehension of the material, and provides structure to your paper or report. In deciding if a story, narrative, or analogy should be included and how, there are a few important questions to ask. What impact will it have on understanding the main concepts? What do you intend for the reader to gain? And is your story relatable to your audience? One way to include a story or narrative is to weave the theme throughout your paper or report, to make connections between the introduction, main body, and conclusion. For example, begin your paper with a relevant scientific anecdote to capture the reader's attention. Then, in the main body, relate important concepts to the anecdote. This allows the reader to follow a theme or purpose throughout. For an example, please refer to the handout. One approach to building a narrative involves creating a concept map, which is a diagram that connects ideas, information, and concepts to a main topic. It is a useful way to break down main points into smaller ones, and to better understand how the smaller points relate to the main point as well as each other. For example, if you are designing a concept map for a laboratory report, first design an individual map for each section, such as the introduction section and results and discussion, since each section contains multiple points and connections within. Then, beginning with the introduction concept map, connect the points regarding the theme of the introduction to points within the results and discussion and concept map. This helps visualize how the narrative can be woven through your report. See figures 1 and 2 in the handout for examples. An idea or concept in a paper or report could also be described using a concise, relevant analogy. One approach to include an analogy is to correlate a scientific idea to something relatable to most people, such as in everyday life. For example, per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS, are known persistent environmental contaminants, and the federal recommendation for PFAS in drinking water is 70 parts per trillion in a lifetime. This is equivalent to a droplet of PFAS, about the size of a pea, in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, or about 2.5 million liters. Most people drink about 95,000 liters of water throughout their lives, which is about 4% of the swimming pool. This swimming pool analogy helps put into context how small of an amount of PFAS people should consume. A few helpful tips to keep in mind. Develop a storyboard to illustrate your ideas and the progression of the theme throughout the narrative. Break down concepts and organize them in a concept map to help add structure and visualize connections. Record yourself talking through the main points of your narrative. Then allow some time to pass and go back and listen to your recording. Determine which points could be elaborated on or made more clearly. Write each main point of the narrative on a note card. Then arrange the note cards in the order that conveys the purpose of your paper or report the best. Choose relatable and relevant anecdotes and analogies. Remember that stories help facilitate the understanding of difficult concepts. Stories that digress from their purpose or are too convoluted may confuse the reader. Make sure the stories give concise explanations. Please see the handout and activity for examples. Thanks.